welcome to the Info Corridor. This is Hajra Haroon, and today I present you another episode of the Info Corridor Talk. The Info Corridor is a bipartisan and a non-profit platform that aims to bring you an impartial narrative of the issues pertaining to the strategic importance. Dear audience, today we are going to talk about the spirit of Quad and its changing dynamics. Quad is an informal strategic alliance that organically came in order to deal with the fallout of the 2004 tsunami in the Indian Ocean. There was subsequently a working level meeting of the grouping and a maritime exercise in 2007. However, this grouping did not take off for a number of reasons. The Quad was revived in 2017, each of which has laid out a vision for a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific. To throw more light on the subject, we have with us Ms. Shazia Habib. Ms. Shazia Habib is working as a research associate at MSF. She is an undergrad in international relations at National Defense University, Islamabad. Her areas of interest include the politics of the Indian Ocean, maritime security, the foreign and domestic policy of India. She is also an ardent social worker. Ms. Shazia, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Hajra, for inviting me to this platform. Thank you so much.
Ms. Shazia, I would like to begin with the question that what is Quad and what led to the formation of the group?
Again, I would like to thank you for inviting me to this platform. And so you talked about Quad and how it basically formulated. In your introduction, you basically gave the gist of the idea that how Quad came into being. It was just in 2004 when the tsunami hit the Asia, and it was very drastic tsunami. And these four nations that included Australia, India, and India, USA, and Japan that came forward and formed a group. That group was not like a security alliance or something, but it was solely the humanitarian grounds that gave birth to this organization or to this group basically. So we can see that it was first of all the humanitarian grounds, humanitarian crisis that led to the formulation of the group. But slowly and gradually with the passage of time, the dynamics and the vision of this squad changed swiftly. Now, since 2004 to 2017, we have seen various ups and downs in this organization. Like this organization was basically in 2007, Japan went to India, and there it gave the idea of Quad, Quadrillion Security Dialogue, and basically the idea of Indo-Pacific. So we can say that it was basically Japan that reformulated or redesigned that concept, and later in 2017 it officially came into limelight as Quad. So we can say that it started from the tsunami, and slowly and gradually it was the idea to contain China on various fronts, and that gave birth to this organization, and that is today's modern Quad that we see.
Nastasia, some view Quad as an Asian NATO. So can you please explain that view in the context of the Malabar naval drills?
Yes, of course, yes. Many of the analysts view, and in fact, China's top diplomat regarded this group as an Asian NATO, because these four nations have various problems with China on either economic fronts. For example, USA has a trade war. Then India has various problems, like it has problem at its border. It has a problem at its water. Australia too has specific problems, and Japan has its problem in East China Sea on Shinkaku Islands and various other islands. So this group basically it was first China that called this group as an Asian NATO. That is because this group again, I told you before in my answer that it was the humanitarian grounds, but that was not that concept slowly like we can say that it vanished from that quad. And what happened was, not only China came into the limelight, or China called this group as an Asian NATO. We have seen that various littoral states of Indian Ocean, that included Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka called that these states and these naval exercises are going to disturb the regional peace and stability. Now, talking about Malabar exercise and how these Malabar exercises are connected to the Quad. The Malabar exercises were started between India and USA back in 1992, and since then these exercises were conducted. But in 2015, I guess, when Japan joined this group, and Australia was reluctant to join this group because Australia had problems that it cannot make China angry, and it didn't join that group, the Malabar exercises. But the Malabar exercises that were conducted in 2020, that was very significant because Australia too participated in this exercises. And now we can see that USA, Australia, Japan, and India. These four nations came together again on the Malabar exercises, and the Quad was completed again at the Malabar front. So we can say that yes, Quad is the military wing of the Malabar is the military wing of Quad. So this is how various analysts and diplomats and China and regional states view the Malabar exercises, and they called it as an Asian NATO.
Ms. Shazia, how do you view the Quad summit that undertook a month ago?
Yes, the Quad summit was very important. It is very important to understand the recent Quad summit that undertook between the head of the states. Now, when Biden came into power, his strategy, we saw that his strategy changed swiftly. Now, we cannot say that no, China is not the competitor, or China is not a threat to USA. Yes, USA perceives, and USA still sees it as a competent threat to it. What changed was the strategy that Biden adopted. For example, Blinken and Austin went to Japan and various Asian states. It was Asian states that they went first, and that included Japan and South Korea. Then, when President Biden came into power, it was the first meeting of Biden, and that meeting was of Quad. So we can see the importance of this Indo-Pacific region in the strategy of USA. Indo-Pacific is still the important component of US's foreign policy after Biden came. Now we can see that it was not only when the head of the state meeting was conducted, various issues were taken into account, and they formulated a very diversified preamble that included that they are going to incorporate the humanitarian crisis that included the COVID-19. They included the climate change that is important, and they didn't only and other important thing is that in the entire document, that document is known as the Spirit of Quad. China was not mentioned as a state. In fact, they very smartly portrayed, or they throw their idea that whosoever is going to challenge the rule-based system, or whosoever is going to threat the Indo-Pacific region, they are going to take the actions. But China as a state was not mentioned. That is important. Now, because USA and these Quad nations have still provided China, have still left a room where they can engage with China, because they cannot go straight with China. They cannot fight on military fronts, because the system doesn't allow them to do so. So we need to understand the gist of this latest meeting and the latest paper they basically the paper basically focused on various diversified issues, not only on Quad or not only on China, and that included, as I've told, climate change, COVID-19, research and development was included. In fact, the military corporation was included. Now we can see that the Malabar was the military wing, and the latest meeting that took place in March was basically, we can say that it was an economic or a political sort of meeting that not only focused on China, but yes, it focused or neither separated or kept China out of it. So it was a very important meeting, and it was a milestone that how USA perceives China and the rest of the world, and how there is a shift in its policy to engage China, how to engage China.
Ms. Shazia, this brings me to my next question. My audience and I would like to know that what is the story behind the US intrusion into the EEZ of India, and how is it going to affect the Quad?
Yes, it was the very recent event that USA carried its freedom of navigation exercises into the waters of India without its permission. And then again, China was the very first state who criticized USA's position, and said that USA that these four democracies are in one group, yet they lack democracy because the USA has an upper hand in this group. And such stories. But it is also important to understand that it is not the first time USA has carried these exercises. USA has been carrying out these exercises, I guess, since 1970s or 1980s. So the important aspect to it is that the Quad is not going to be affected from these exercises, but yeah, yes, India will be a bit angry that it try to intervene into the sovereignty, but overall it will not have an impact on Quad or this group.
Ms. Shazia, what is the long-term outlook of this group?
Talking about the long-term outcome of the group, we can say that this group, the sole importance or the sole target of this group is that they are going to contain China on all fronts, including the military, economy, political, and maritime sphere. But it is important, or it is very important, that this group needs to understand that they cannot keep China away. For example, if they have to fight the COVID-19, and if they have to if they have to provide vaccines to the Asian states, they need the help of China, of course, because it cannot be separated from this domain. On the then again, climate change is a is a transnational issue, and it cannot be solved by few states or solely by the Quad nations, but it needs China on that front as well. So we have seen that the Quad has an exclusive exclusive. It doesn't allow other states to participate, although it will never ever allow China to participate in it, because it is formulated in order to curtail it. But yes, we can say that it can to fight COVID and to fight climate change, it needs China as well, because it's the largest economy, and it has the military, it has the potential research and development. So I guess the Quad has kept the policy of engagement and re-engagement with China, and yes, China will obviously remain a threat to these nations, especially India, Japan, and Australia as well. But the room for engagement will be open.
Ms. Shazia, thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.